Sam, as I said, welcome back to the show then. So, last time you were on, we were all in Turbo Overkill fever, and now we're in Total Chaos fever. And what was it then that made you want to remake the game? Because it was previously made in GZDoom, but now it's made in Unity. What was it once you'd finished Turbo Overkill? You were like, you know what, let me go back and do that.
Yeah, it's funny because I kind of started Total Chaos before Turbo Overkill, but it was very much experimentation with various different engines. It was with Unreal Engine back then that I was trying to remake it, and I just kept dabbling with it in the background. I didn't really get seriously on board with remaking it until after Turbo Overkill released, and then after that came out, it kind of was the next natural thing to jump onto, because after Turbo was done, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I had a lot of ideas for games, but I had to think a bit more about it now because, I just came off a probably 4 or 5 year commitment getting Turbo Overkill done, and I knew whatever I'd choose the next game to be, it was going to be another 4 or 5 year commitment, even though it only ended up being 2 years somehow. But then I was like, okay, I don't really know what to do right now. I'll just on top of other, I had a few other things in the works, but I kind of was like, well, what would Trigger Happy be doing? And I was like, okay, well, I guess the next logical thing is Total Chaos, and especially because I know a lot of people hold the mod quite dearly, and a lot of people really wanted to play it, but every time they jump in and play it, it wouldn't really run that well with modern systems. Like back in 2018, it was a bit more, it kind of ran a little bit better, but now compatibility issues and, you try and play it now and it just doesn't run that well. So it's like, okay, well, people keep asking me to put it on Steam. I can't put it on Steam because, making a mod, you kind of just like throwing in a bunch of stuff into it without any care in the world. Or like, should I actually be using this as a sound effect? Like, can I legally use this certain sound effect? Can I legally use this texture? And there's a lot of like auditing that had to be done on like what can go into it. And then in the end, I was like, screw it. It's just gonna be easy to just remake it. And then I was like, okay, I'll just remake it in a sense where I would literally import everything from the mod into Unity. I'll keep the graphics the same. I'll keep it all looking the same, so I wouldn't have to do so much work. But then I'll just go through and replace the things that I don't know where they came from, or if I can legally use them. I'd put a bit more work into making it run well. But then I had a VR kit sitting in the corner collecting dust. I was like, oh, I wonder what this looks like in VR. So I put that on, and the whole thing kind of just looked like shit. So I kind of went back and said, okay, maybe I could update the textures a little bit to make them a little bit more high res, and then it kind of just turned into this never-ending cycle of updating and up-resing, and then eventually it ended up turning into its own thing where it needed a lot more work than simply just importing the mod into Unity, and it kind of just evolved from that.
The GZDoom version that's currently out there, then you said you imported it in there. I'm assuming that you kind of, now that version is the past, you have absolutely no involvement in terms of its existence anymore. Is that true?
Yeah, I've lost the source code for it, so even if I did want to go back and fix it, I can't really do that anymore, unfortunately. And also,
so sorry, carry on.
It's kind of just, it's there. It's not going to be changed or anything. It's just going to be sitting there. Anybody who wants to play it, they can play it. They just have to accept that there's going to be a little bit of jank and trying to get it to run.
Well, there's no point playing an old version of the game if there is a new, hotter, sexier version on the scene, of course. Certainly with the issues that GZDoom have had over the last couple of weeks, I don't think anyone would really want to as well. There's far too much uncertainty in regards to that engine and far too much anticipation for the real version of the game that you're making. So, I mean, in terms of what has gone down in terms of the GZDoom scene in the last couple of weeks, do you have any opinions on it or something?
Not really, because I haven't really been involved in anything on that side since 2018, I guess, when I put the mod out. Well, 2019, I think, was the director's cut. And I kind of just like stepped back and said, I'm done with this. I kind of want to just make new games now instead of mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is sad all that drama went down. I hate to say I'm not really that surprised, but yeah, it does suck. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, GZDoom's become this massive thing that I don't think anybody really anticipated. People using it as an entire game engine to sell commercial products. I don't think people anticipate. I don't know. I've never. I would love to talk to the guys behind it. I never actually spoke to them, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that was an unexpected thing that happened.
Well, one of our previous guests, Patrick, he'd developed, or one of the team, he was part of the team that developed Beyond Sunset. And that was a full commercial game. I bought it, I'm playing it right now. And that's entirely made in GZDoom. It's literally nothing like, how like Sulaco is like a souped-up version of that? It's just entirely within that particular engine. But moving to Unity, and you said you started on Unreal Engine, moving to Unity, kind of what sort of challenges did it present to you?
I guess the most obvious one was you can't really leverage the systems from GZDoom. Like, you have to make your player controller from scratch, and you have to make your weapon controllers from scratch, and which is fine. I enjoy doing that sort of thing. There was no way I could really take, if I were to redo the mod again, for as a commercial product. I could have just somehow taken the mod and up-res it, but working with it there's a lot of complexity, and there's a lot more hoops you have to jump through with modding, making stuff in GZDoom than it is in Unity. It might be different now, but even something as simple as importing a 3D model into a scene, you have to export the model out, and you got to make a bunch of metadata and text files to say this is how the 3D model is defined. And in Unity, you just literally drag and drop, and it's in there.
Really, that's simple.
Yeah,
stuff like.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was going to say the stuff like that for non-developers. It's like you might as well have asked us to explain quantum mechanics. It's so complicated. So when you say things like I just imported the mod in there, to me it's a level of intelligence that is beyond my comprehension to kind of understand how something could just be explained so simply.
There's a few more steps to it. Like you have to when I say import the mod, it's not literally dragging and dropping a mod into Unity. Like what I ended up doing was exporting out level data from the level editor and getting all the models and importing the models again. But